Hello, welcome to lesson number 2. Lesson number 2 provides the framework of how every lesson will be designed for the entire semester. So if we can understand the concepts and the flow of lesson number 2, you should feel comfortable with what to expect in future lessons. There should be a video, an introductory video from me inside of each lesson, as well as what I'm calling a lesson objectives, notes, and assignment sheet. There's this document that can be downloaded to your computer and printed out that includes objectives for the lesson, any lecture notes that I want to include, as well as an overview of all of the assignments we need to complete for that particular lesson. Also inside of this folder and all folders will be reading assignments. For lesson number 2 particularly, we have 4 reading assignments listed. And sometimes these reading assignments can be as short as 1 page. Other times there will be traditional chapters that we have to read. And it's really important that we do try to keep up with the chapters and the readings and not get behind. It's the only way that you will gain something from this course. Because in this course, we're taking a really broad, large perspective about what culture is, what cultural diversity is, and all of our particular topics we will be covering. So if you start getting behind, the only person that you're really hurting is yourself. Each lesson will also include additional outside videos. This particular lesson has 3 videos. Some of those videos go from as short as 30 seconds to as long as 20 minutes in this particular lesson set. After conducting your readings and watching the videos, then you will be ready to go on to the next stage of the lesson, which is what you actually have to do to turn in. Each particular lesson will have a discussion board that you will need to participate in. Discussion boards should not be completed at the last minute. They need to be completed well before the due date, so you can take time to read the discussion board postings and respond to one of your fellow students. Generally, discussion boards require 2 postings: your own original post and the response to another person. And discussion board posts are supposed to be an attempt at replacing conversation that we might have with other students in class. Thus, comments such as "I agree," "yes," "no," that type of thing really is not a good way to start a discussion. We want really insightful, thoughtful, and reflective postings in our discussion boards. You can read more about that in my online student guidebook that was inside of lesson number 1. And last but not least, for every lesson, will be journal submissions. And this may be a little bit different from some of the activities you have been involved with in the past. Journal submissions or submissions or writings that you will be submitting via Blackboard that no one else will read except you and the instructor. The other parts of the class and other class members cannot read these writings. So we'll be taking an opportunity to reflect upon and to discuss and to theorize the material that we will be covering. So for example, in this lesson, we will be answering questions related to what is cultural diversity, what is culture, why having a level of competence in these issues is important in the counseling and social work setting and the human services setting, and why this is a big issue in the educational field as well. And what we'll be asking students to do is not to write a summary of what you've read, because we have already read these documents. I don't need a summary. Your instructor does not need a summary of the material. What we want to know is what you think about the material. Can you draw any points of conclusion to the material? Do you support what's being written? Do you not? Do you see flaws in the author's arguments and so forth? Take note and read the pretty detailed instructions that we will be providing inside of each of the journals. Again, the topics will generally be up to you, but I have provided a framework in terms of how best to construct these journal postings. We will also be providing a rubric that will help you get started as well with the journal postings. The first couple of these may be a little bit unnerving because it's something new, but generally students tend to like these opportunities to share with the instructor what they believe about the material, to have greater depth and conversation, and the instructor will actually respond back to you with your journal articles, and hopefully we can create a personal experience for each individual student, where we can have a conversation about what the material means and what it doesn't mean and so forth. In the meantime, always feel free to contact your instructor. Contact me if you have problems, and we'll be happy to help you. Please take care.